What a lovely day to go out for a drive in this convertible. Oh wait, I forgot it's a BMW. This traction control light popped up and I've had a few people scan the car and they've said it's most likely the clock spring, so we're going to attempt to replace it. The clock spring connects all of the steering wheel's electrics to the car while still allowing it to turn, such as the airbag and the buttons. Since I'm taking the airbag off, the first thing to do is disconnect the battery. Whatever you do, don't close the boot after you disconnect the battery. I learned the hard way. There's two holes behind either side of the steering wheel and you need to push in with a screwdriver to release the airbag, which took quite long but I got there in the end. There's two cables that connect to the airbag. There's a tab that needs to be popped up before they can be taken off. This is me showing the clip that releases the airbag. You then have to remove this small screw and the two clips from the top. There's a tab that pushes down. And finally, one main bolt that holds the steering wheel in place. Once removing the bolt, I made two small marks to make sure the wheel goes back straight, and off that can come. These two plastic pieces are held on with clips, so it's just a case of popping those clips out, and then I could remove the bottom piece of plastic. These four screws hold the clock spring in place along with some clips. There's one cable that needs removing from the back of the clock spring, and I could then push the tab on this plastic to release it. Now it's a case of reversing all of the steps. So I've got the new clock spring here, I can put that on, pop that plastic back in place. This red plastic holds the clock spring in place to make sure the orientation is right. So that needs removing and it was easier said than done. On the old clock spring I removed, it's still stuck in there, so clearly it snapped on someone in the past. But after a bit of persuasion, I managed to get that out. So now the steering wheel can go back on, the black clip in place, and the grey clip also in place. That little screw put back in, and then the main bolt that I tightened as hard as I possibly could. The two cables that connect the airbag popped back into place and the clips down, and then the airbag can be pushed in. I then reconnected the battery and put the support back in place. I then tried to clear the codes using this code reader, but it did not work. So I popped down to my friends at the local mechanic who have a way better machine and they cleared the codes for me. So finally I can start the car with no fault codes and go for that drive.